Good morning, everyone. This is Tim's New York Giants Trade Talk, brought to you by the Mighty FanDuel. It's FanDuel.com, number one sports book in America. I live in America. It's my birthday, and I'll rhyme if I want to. Thank you, Big Jersey, coming out with the first. Happy birthday, Tim. I appreciate that. I appreciate everyone coming up with the big birthday messages. Yes, it is my birthday. And we're here on my birthday, and I want to make sure we get everyone's birthday message up because they're just going crazy. Old timer, nothing old about me, baby. It's not how old the lit is. It's how hard it is.
That's what she said.
Oh, what's going on? Happy birthday to me. Why can't I get all the birthday messages to pop up? They're taking forever. They're going very slow. But yes, it's been a fun morning. It's been an exciting morning here in Giantland on my birthday, and I appreciate it. Appreciate all the warm welcomes, all the salutations. I appreciate the people that text me at 6 o'clock in the morning. On your birthday. I mean, you're not supposed to. I'm just joking. I appreciate all the warm birthday wishes, and I appreciate the New York Knicks winning. I appreciate the Sixers for thinking I'm still a season ticket holder and sending me special ticket access for games 3 and 4. It's one of these days. It's one of these days in Giant Land. Oh, you know what's funny? Arsenal domination with the birthday live from the Dahmer. Coming all the way from the UK. Do you play Madden? Yes, I do play Madden. I don't play Madden online, but I do play Madden. Sometimes I play online. Every once in a while I play online. But yes, I do play Madden. Don't ask me what my gamer tag is because I got no fucking clue. I have no idea what my gamer tag is. I would have to ask my son what my gamer tag is. But I do play Madden online. I do enjoy that once in a while because I like to talk shit, talk trash. I know that's shocking to people that I like to talk shit and trash, but I do. Let's run those likes up. Why is the button not clicking? I gotta switch mice because for some reason the button's not clicking fast enough here. Let's see, birthday live. Oh, there we go. It's a mouse issue. People have asked me before, since it is my birthday, if you want to do anything special for my birthday, I understand. And I've already said before, if you do want to do something for the online Big Blue birthday, I'm going to put in a link in the chat. You could do it two ways. If you want to donate a super chat to the Philadelphia Children's Hospital via the channel, you can, or you can go this link right here. This is the link I use, and you can make a direct donation to the Philadelphia Children's Hospital. I know it's a weird link. I'm not even sure that's the whole link. No, that's not even the whole link. Hold on. I don't know. It's not coming up. No, I'm returning to donations. Hold on. Let me see if I can get the full link in here. Hold on. Let's get the full link in here because we also got to talk about the Giants. There we go. I think that's the full link. There we go. That's the full length. This is the link that's the link I use for CHOP. So which is also the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. So I'm put that in there. If you want to make a donation vis-a-vis the channel to Philadelphia Children's Hospital, I will make sure they get them like we do every month. Or if you want to go directly to the website that I use to make the donation, you go to the link below and make your donation as needed. We got to talk about the New York Football Giants. Because of the fact that I keep seeing some of these articles, I keep seeing some of these speculations, I keep seeing some of these pundits sitting there and bashing our beloved Giants, questioning our beloved head coach. There have been multiple sources and reports that people are saying that that the Giants have not done as well as they could have in the draft. That the Giants could potentially have made some picks that they shouldn't have picked. That this team does have a John Harbaugh effect to it, and maybe that John Harbaugh effect was not the best decisions for the New York Football Giants. That some of the moves that the Giants made, even getting Arvell Reese, who was considered could have been considered the best or the second best player in the entire draft. Even getting a top tackle or the top offensive lineman in the entire draft may not have been what is best for the team. These speculations, there's been a few NFL pundits have come out, a few people that have worked in the NFL, because I always love it because it's always anonymous. It's anonymous because we don't want to tell you we don't want to put a name to this, that maybe the Giants aren't going to be as good as some people think they're going to be. Maybe the Giants are just going to be an aberration. Maybe they're going to be a moment and blip in time in reference to this coach. And maybe maybe John Harbaugh, the John Harbaugh effect may not be truly what the New York Football Giants need. I got one thing to say to those people.
Fuck you!
There's an adult finally in charge in the building. There is a person who has had a winning record. This is his not his entire, he had 2 losing seasons in 18 years. He's got a Super Bowl ring, cultivated 2 quarterbacks into what we like to refer to as won a Super Bowl winner, won a 2-time MVP. It's we've always said before camp, before all this shit, that it's going to be the silly season. We're going to have the silly season going on here. We're going to have these rumors. We're going to have these speculations. We're going to have these innuendos. We're going to have all these people talking shit about nothing that they don't know. Especially it's these pundits and beat writers and people over like in Cincinnati that are sitting there like, okay, we need to come up with something to make the Giants look bad because they've done everything right. The Giants are continuing also right now to bolster their defensive tackle position. We've added we added Shelby Harris. We added Alika, whatever his name is. I can never remember his name off of my top of his head. And we've also talked to Austin Johnson. We brought in Benito Jones. We're still looking at DJ Reader. Johnson, of course, is the 31-year-old defensive tackle. He's from Jersey. I don't remember where he's from, Jersey, but he's from Jersey. He was drafted by the Tennessee Titans in the second round, 43rd overall in 2026 out of Penn State. We got to remember, joined New York in 2020, 2021. He started all 17 games, posted a career-high 72 tackles, 3.5 sacks, 6'4", 314 pounds, veteran presence, run-stopping ability. People kept saying to me over and over again, what are we going to do? We can't replace Dexter. How are we going to replace Dexter Lawrence? What are we going to do? And I kept telling people that Dexter Lawrence can easily be replaced on this team. Dexter Lawrence and his 5.6 yards per carry can easily be replaced. I think you could put me in the defensive line, and I could give a 5.6 yards a carry. I think you, for 9 years, were in the anchor in the middle of this defense at times, and over those 9 years, we, on average, gave up 4.7 yards a carry. It's not hard. It's not difficult. It's not difficult to replace that production. When Darius Alexander had more tackles and sacks than you did, it's not going to be a great loss. It's going to be easy to figure it out. Joe Spano says, remember, in 3 years, vast majority of NFL rosters turn over. The cheapest, longest control assets are your draft picks. Okay, what's up? Okay, Dolly said, happy birthday to you, Tim. Let's talk New York Football motherfucking Giants. Odell Beckham was back in the building last week. And I could say last week because it's now this week again. OBJ's back. OBJ back in the motherfucking his house. And it's still, even with Darius, even with Slayton's core muscle injury, which most people say, it's not that difficult to recover from. That he is going to be raring to go from training camp. So the great unwashed of Giant fan segments thought to themselves, well, we're bringing OBJ because we need another wide receiver because Darius Slayton's not available. Malik Neighbors is not available, but they're already talking about Malik Neighbors is probably closer to coming back in August than he is in October. You're not going to bring in OBJ as a camp body. You're not going to bring OBJ even as a fourth wide receiver, because we've talked about this a million times before. He can't return punts. He's not going to return kicks, and he's not going to play special teams. There is no and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this now, just in case the Giants do this. There is no logical football rationale for bringing back Odell Beckham Jr. There is zero rationale. He's not a mentor. He's going to be 34 years old, I think, in November. He hasn't played in a year and a half. He should be well rested, but he hasn't played in a year and a half. You still have, if you need camp bodies, you still have Jalen Hyatt, Ryan Miller, Courtney Jackson, Isaiah Hodgkins, Bo Collins. You still have Calvin Austin III, Gunnar Olszewski, Xavier Gibson. Let's just read this out for camp. Players that will be immediately available for camp: Malachi Fields, Jalen Hyatt, Ryan Miller, Courtney Jackson, Darius Slayton, Isaiah Hodgkins, Bo Collins, Darnell Mooney, Calvin Austin, Gunnar Olszewski, and Xavier Gibson. That's 11 guys. We just named 11 guys that will be ready for the start of camp to compete for a wide receiver position for the New York Football Giants. If you take a look at Xavier Gibson, Courtney Jackson, Gunnar Olszewski, Calvin Austin, and probably even Isaiah Hodgkins, these are guys that can return kicks. These are the guys that can return punts. Where does even at a veteran minimum, where does OBJ fit within that parameters? And like I said, from a logical football perspective, if you're thinking about this, if you're stepping outside of yourself for a second and looking inward at the roster and saying, okay, where do these people fit in these roles? You have to look back and say they don't. They don't fit in these roles. He doesn't fit in any of the roles that we listed. I also have to give a big shout out to the Giants for some of their offensive, some of their defensive tackle signings. Brought in the one kid at 1.3. We brought in the one kid at $3.3 million. Shelby Harris at $3 million, guaranteed $3 million. That tells me they expect, unless there is a serendipitous drop in regards to Shelby Harris's play, that tells me he's going to be on this roster, because you're not going to give someone a guaranteed $3 million, which would still be a dead cap hit, but 2.6 if you cut him. But you literally brought in two guys at $1.4 million recently, which still leaves you with the rule of 51, about $15 million in cap space. We also have to account for the rookie draft pool. But literally the Giants replaced their $28 million man in Dexter Lawrence with two guys right now that will make $4 million. An interior defensive tackle position, unless you are Aaron Donald, unless you are Chris Jones, unless you are a truly dominant force in the middle of that line, should not cost you any more than $7-8 million. And we're going to find that out the hard way. DJ Reader is not a lock. We may be looking at, we already signed Lika Fuda. We already signed him. He's already been signed. We signed him for a veteran minimum of $1.1 million. Gunnar does not have any guaranteed money as well, Tim. There are a lot of people on this roster that don't have any guaranteed money. That's what I'm saying. Don built this out right. Don built this out correctly. Xavier Gibson, Isaiah Hodgins, Tanner Connor, Ryan Miller, Courtney Jackson do not have any guaranteed money. Gunnar Olszewski has $300,000 guaranteed. There will be a $300,000 cap number. Calvin Austin's guaranteed money is only a dead cap number of $450,000. You still have $272,000 with Jalen Hyatt. People also forget that the wonderful Darnell Mooney, who I think is going to have a prolific year with this Giant offense. We only signed him for $3 million. He gets a big Darnell Mooney, who should be towards the prime of his career right now, or towards the back end of the prime of his career, 29 years old. Base salary is $1.2 million, the signing bonus of $1.7 for a total cap hit of $3 million, which if you take a look at the total percentage of his salary against the current Giant salary cap, it's 1%. Darnell Mooney, to me, is going to come in here and he's going to start alongside of Malik Neighbors. And like I said, I have to give him full credit. Actually, Darnell will be 29 in October. I think he is going to be a huge portion of this Giants team. And again, if you take a look at the salary cap and the way this is broken down, this is something we haven't seen the Giants do in years. It's perplexing and kind of befuddles you a little bit. Because I look at the numbers for some of our other players. You got $57 million in dead cap, of course, but we're not going to get rid of Brian Burns. You have all this money that was brought in by the venerable Joe Shane years ago. I mean, the anchor of the Paulson Adebo, the Holland contracts weigh heavily on this team. The issues for Kayvon Thibodeau at $14.5 million, we never should have picked up that option. I understand why they did it, because they didn't want to. Because you know what they say. People say I'm a genius, but how can you really screw up 5 and 7? Well, you screwed up 7 because we brought back Evan Neal for a veteran minimum of $1 million. So I didn't think they were going to want to move on from Kayvon Thibodeau. They're going to try to get something for him in return, but you got a $14 million guaranteed anchor around your neck if he does not perform. The only contract I don't like from the new regime is the Greg Newsome contract. We talked about this a million times. You're giving this guy $8 million, only $3 million of it guaranteed. It's 2.66% of the salary cap. And he's basically sucked the last 3 years.
What I got to say you really don't want to hear, because honesty ain't too high up on your people priority list, right?
Honesty? You want honesty?
That's just being honest about that. That's the only signing I don't like. Shelby Harris at 35 years old for $3 million. I'm not crazy about it, but like I said, it is what it is. We have some conditional picks coming back as well. Well, we may. We don't know yet. Chode Sports, happy birthday, Grandpa. How old are you today? 497 years old. Good morning, Chud. Good morning. And what's up, Randall? He's going to rock the mic like a Randall. Dan Dugans tweeted the contract details for both guys. That's what I was just reading. I was reading the contract details because we are professionals here. Beyond Reader, there are a few less attractive options out at the nose tackle. Listen, I still say you bring in Calais Campbell. I still say you know, like me, Calais Campbell is just getting better with age. Unless he signed someplace else. I don't think he signed anybody. Did he sign? I don't think he signed anyplace else so far. Oh, he's right. Oh, Calais Campbell just 2 days ago. Oh, no, we can't get Calais Campbell. He went somewhere called, I don't know, Baltimore. He's returning to Baltimore for his 19th season. So Calais Campbell is out. I would have done a Calais Campbell. The DJ Reader thing we keep hearing, we're gonna have competition for the Reader. Maybe he can't read, and so he won't read that. I'm not questioning anything yet because I'm automatically thinking he fixes everything now. He's doing great if we win 7 games and Dart improves. I've said it before. If you win 7 games with this team, and I am now fully in alignment with a lot of people that are saying that a lot of people that are saying this is closer to a 9-win team than it is a 4-win team. I'm in complete utter alignment with that. I'm in complete utter agreement with that right now. And if I wanted to go somewhere and place a bet, I know where I'd go. I'd go to the mighty FanDuel. That's FanDuel.com, the number one sports book in America. We love the mighty FanDuel here at OBB Land. Oh, no, you know what I really need to do is I really need to swap out my networks. I'm on the wrong network. Hold on, we might lose you for a second. We're just going to bonus bets. If we take a look at have the New York Football Giants into the FanDuel Sportsbook, have they made a Herculean jump? Have they gone to a different precipice? Have they moved on in reference to moving up that big chart in regards to making the Super Bowl? They were at plus 7,000 the other day, and they're still plus 7,000. I know that was anticlimactic, but you know what's not anticlimactic? The mighty FanDuel. That's FanDuel.com, number one sportsbook in America. Go place that giant bet right now. Plus 7,000, just below. We're just below the Carolina Panthers and the Minnesota Vikings. I actually think we should be over the Carolina Panthers and Minnesota Vikings. If Minnesota Vikings, even with Kyler Murray, are plus 5,500 to win the Super Bowl, that's just fucking crazy to me. I would like, on a somber note, to bring something up. Not to bring the show down, but Mrs. Online Big Blue is very upset about this. We lost $100,000 yesterday. Why I'm ecstatic and full of glee that Philadelphia took out the Boston Celtics, we all know I lost $100,000 yesterday. I literally watched that fourth quarter go away and watched my money just trickle out the fucking door. But I also just recently placed a bet with the New York, for the New York Knicks on the mighty FanDuel. The Knicks were the Knicks were plus 1,500 to make and win the finals. They were plus 1,500 yesterday. They're plus 850. They are now behind just the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs. I'm glad I placed that bet the other day. Because right now, if we take a look at the way the Knicks are set up, if the Knicks do not make this run, I don't know what else to tell you. We have to take a look at the fact that if the next opponent could if the next series is going to be the Magic and the Raptors, because both of them have game 7s today, the Knicks should hopefully move forward to it. And I love it. Embiid tells people, don't sell your tickets to Knicks fans. Fuck you. We're coming in force. I'm going to be there game 3 and 4, bitches. Last time this happened, New York Knicks fans took over the Wells Fargo Center. But we're not talking about that. We're talking about the mighty FanDuel. It's FanDuel.com, number one sportsbook in America. Download the app. It's one of the easiest apps to use. And like I said, bet on the NBA games. Bet $5 and get $250 back in bonus bets if you win. So what I'm saying is that first NBA bets is the best way to join the action. Get $250 back in bonus bets if you win on your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel. It's mightyfanduel.com, number one sportsbook in America. I live in the America. I love this. Harbaugh will continue to use OBJ's names relevant and will eventually have him on the active roster late in the season. Listen, my big thing with OBJ is hit the like button. My big thing with OBJ is, and people have said it on this channel a million times, and I'm good, and I actually agree with it 100%. You want to bring OBJ back? That's fine. Sign him to a one-day contract. Let him retire a Giant. That's it. Let him retire a Giant. Because that's about what he's worth. He's not going to, and I love people that are like, well, he's going to be a mentor. Who has he mentored throughout his entire career? And I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be facetious. I'm actually was asking a question. And I loved it because one person, which was great, one person was like, well, he could mentor them. He could mentor them on how to do all these weird things. And I was like, well, I guess you're right. I guess you're right. If I thought OBJ had anything left in the tank, if we thought OBJ could do something special, if I thought that he could be a presence in the locker room that would not be destructive, and I'm not saying he's going to be destructive, but there's a better opportunity for OBJ not to be a calming influence. There is a reason and rationale that could potentially happen. I don't see the gain in bringing him back in. And if there was a logical football reason, and I'm saying this again, if there was a logical football reason to bring OBJ in, then I would tell you to do it. Then I would say, go for it, do it. Don't wait. Don't even think about it. Just fucking do it. But the fact that both sides cannot come to a thought process in regards to a contract or whether they want to be here, I don't know. I can't tell you. Don't forget also, we're bringing it back for the playoffs. If you are into Knicks basketball, I'm going to talk about this for a brief second. I'm bringing it back for the playoffs. I did it for the first couple episodes. We're actually being very successful, and I just stopped because I'm a fucking moron. Go out and we're going to check out Knicks Unleashed, a grip behind the garden. Anywhere that podcast can be found, we're going to do it, and I'm going to change it so it says playoff edition. So make sure you go and you go to Knicks Unleashed. You could find it on Knicks Unleashed on YouTube. You can also find it on any place that you find podcasts. We're gonna start doing the playoff episodes, and hopefully we're gonna rock all the way through to the NBA Finals. So make sure you go out and find Knicks Unleashed, a grip behind the garden. That's every place that you can find podcasts, and of course you're on YouTube. What else do we got to say here? What Scott says, that list doesn't sound too good. I actually think Darnell Mooney is a good player. I think Darius Slayton has his moments and he can do certain things. I'm not too worried about it. Gunner doesn't have guarantee. Like we were talking about, Gunner's got a little bit of guarantee. Gunner's got a little bit of guaranteed money, just a little bit. Good morning, Tim and chat. We got to that one already. Let me move down. Campbell, who? Cam Jordan. There's so many different players you can replace him with. It's not, and we're doing fine. We're doing okay. Absolutely closer to 9-win teams than 4-win teams. Harbaugh might just tear MetLife down if they only manage to win 4 games. Listen, if the New York Football Giants only manage to win 4 games, I'm going to tell you this clearly. I'm going to tell you this slowly. I'm going to tell you this right now. There will be an upheaval over at MetLife. There will be I don't even know what there will be, but there will be we have watched the Knicks fans fall in love with Mike Brown, and then we basically watched him get torn up, and then we've basically watched people tell us that if Mike Brown didn't get to at least the championship round, that the motherfucker's going to get fired. And it's like, okay, well, Mike Brown actually, if you take a look at what he has done so many things with this team right now that you kind of look at it and say, well, you know what, there's something there with Mike Brown, but he shouldn't be fired over all this shit. And I'm like, okay. But if John Harbaugh only wins 4 games, I think everyone in that fucking building is going to get fired. I think there's going to be a big scapegoat in Joe Shane. And I'm going to tell you this, guys, and I keep trying to tell you this, and we've heard the room, and I talked about the rumors, and I talked about the speculation just the other day about Joe Shane. Joe Shane's not getting fired, guys. He is going to the town hall on May 18th. He is going to be one of the guys on stage for the New York Giants town hall. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. I think they're $15 a piece at Ticketmaster. But he's not getting fired. And I kept hearing rumors and speculations, and we reported on it that he's not getting fired this year. That John Harbaugh is going to wait and play it out, see what happens, and then make his move at the end of the season. You're not going to have Joe Shane at the New York Giants' first town hall in the last 3 years and then fire him. It's just not going to happen. You're going to make yourself look stupid if you do that. So he's going to be here, but if they win 4 games, there's going to be. What's up, Herschel? What's up, Big Greg? Ravens got to do some June 1st cuts. Yeah, the Ravens actually do. Gambling, like alcohol, is poison. What if you gamble while you're drinking alcohol? Hey-oh, that's why we say game responsibly. If the Knicks don't get to the finals, there will be a major change to the roster with a big push for Giannis. Listen, if the Knicks don't get to the finals, especially if they have their second opponent, well, first we got to get through the Sixers. I'm not one of these Knicks fans that's like, it's an automatic lock. I worry about it. We were up by 50 with 6 minutes left, and I was still worried. I'm the opposite Knick fan. I'm the worry Knick fan. Because you had the largest explosion in NBA history in that first half of the Knicks. And all I could think about was going back in the third quarter, thinking to myself, I've seen Knick teams do this. You have this record-setting explosion, and then you have a record-setting implosion. When we were only up by like 46 in the third quarter, I'm like, oh no, we're fucked. And then we went up by 61. But so what do I know? Let's see. This kid comfortably was kicking from 50 plus yards, huge leg. I'm going to talk to you guys because Mika, I know I understand what you're saying, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you something you don't need to know because most people here are very astute fans. I'm going to tell you something right now. There is a difference between kicking a 50, 60, 70-yard field goal in practice than there is kicking one when you have 11 guys rushing after you in a stadium full of 70,000 people in a hostile environment with a wind shifting a little bit 14 degrees centimeters from the northeast with an eastern gale gust. It looks great. You had the quarterback kid or whatever his name was, that kid that was just throwing all these passes. Yeah, he's not going to be in the NFL. Because there's a difference. We actually match up with Philly extremely well. And the only thing I worry about Tyrese Maxey a little bit because we do have problems at time with athletic guards. But if we run, what the thing is this, and James Williams and I have a running joke about Karl Anthony Towns. But I've never had a total, like I said, I was going towards the dark side with James about him. I never really had an issue with Cat. And I always felt that the Knicks are at their best when the ball is being facilitated through Karl Anthony Towns. When you're running the pick and roll, when you're doing these things that he is at time, like I said, even James said he's a double-double machine. He falls in the double-double. He had 4 shots and had a triple-double. How the fuck do you have 4? You go 1 for 4 and have a triple-double. I know how, but it's one of those things that if you just take a look at, the Knicks are such a better team when they're not running it through Brunson. You're going to see a lot of GTA 5. You're going to see a lot of him. Jose Alvarado. You're going to see a lot of him because you have the athletic guard. And I think Landry Shamet. I think the Shamalama Ding Dong is going to take a little bit of a back seat. Because the fact that while Shamet can give you that instant offense, why he can give you that Vinnie Johnson microwave moments, he's also has what I like to refer to as the Matador defense. Ole! Because people just fucking go around him. So Tyrese Maxey's the only thing I worry about. I don't really worry about Embiid. Embiid's going to get his points in the paint, but he's also Mr. Glass. So, Trenton, what's up, brother? The lowly Mets continue to spiral. Yes, another injury. OBJ just did my taxes. Tyron says, how did you feel about OBJ when he first came into I loved OBJ. OBJ is still one of my all-time favorite Giants. And I find it, and I'm not saying you, but there's people that are like, well, you just don't like him. I still have my number 13 jersey. Listen, fuck, I'll be ecstatic he comes back. I can break out 13. I mean, how awesome is that? If we take a look, what is that right there? What is that in the upper corner there? The other side of the USFL poster. That's an autographed picture of OBJ the Catch. I think OBJ, for a 4-year period of time, was the most prolific wide receiver the Giants have had in reference to excitement outside of Homer Jones, the inventor of the spike. But here's the thing. I want to win games. I don't want to have an OBJ nostalgia tour. I want to win some fucking games. If OBJ can come in here and win some games, I'm down for signing him. But if I'm getting the 34-year-old who had to go on PEDS and got suspended to come back and play, I'm not down with that. Some people are talking about trading and cutting Martin Humphreys, Washington's defense tackle, Bateman, Justin, and okay. He wants nothing to do with Bateman. They missed a bunch of sub 44. Really bad last season. It was sub 70%. And yeah, there you go. See? James Williams. What's up, my brother? Happy birthday, brother. Left side. Strong side. I'm just going to say, James, you didn't text me. You didn't text me this morning. I'm going to be like a woman here for a minute. James, everyone else texted me early in the morning. You didn't. You didn't text me on my birthday. I was joking around with Dom because he texted me at 6:38 about something else. But I had someone else text me at 6 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to be a little bit of a woman here for a moment. You don't love me. Wow, I used to value your opinion until you said what you said about OJ. All I have to say is he did what he did. It was weird. And all you have to do is say what he did. What he did. All you have to say is what did he do that was so weird in LA and Baltimore. Okay, here's a question for you. And if you disvalue my opinion because we have a difference of opinions, then you should fucking leave the show. Because then you're going to be insulted by a lot of other things. You're talking about what he did, OBJ, in LA. That was 2021. He missed the entire 2022 season, did not play. He only started 6 games in Baltimore. What wide receiver did he mentor in Baltimore? He was a shell of himself for 9 games, 0 starts, 55 yards, 6.1 yards reception with what was in the wonderful Miami Dolphins. You could say, well, it was his quarterback. Well, his quarterback still, when Tua was still in the game, when OBJ, he still threw for almost 3,000 yards, 19 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions. OBJ has been a shell of himself for the longest period of time now. So he only played half a season in 2024. He didn't play at all in 2025 because he got suspended for PEDS, not for the complete season, but for half the season. He got suspended for PEDS. So explain to me, Xavier Howard, and I'm not picking on you. Yes, I am picking on you. Explain to me how, in your logic, OBJ at 34 years old in November is an asset to the New York Football Giants organization. He got his big contract. He ran his mouth about his quarterback. He basically blasted the organization and the city. People forget all this. And got shipped off to Cleveland and had one good season since he left the Giants. He went to a Sean McVay pre-made ready Super Bowl team. Listen, if he doesn't go there in 21 with Sean McVay, they still go to the Super Bowl. They still win the Super Bowl. He only had 27 receptions in 8 games in LA. It wasn't like he was this dominant force for the Rams. So just kind of explain to me, well, I used to value your opinion. Fuck you then. How about you value that? Because of the fact that if you are upset by my opinion, because what's my opinion, I allow everyone to have their own opinion, even when it's stupid as yours, there's a problem. We don't need OBJ. He's like recycling old girlfriends when you're contacting your old phone. Oh, thank you for Big Greg. We're just having a good time here. Big Greg, Big James. Hank says, oh, Tim, please ask an awkward question to Joe Shame to Town Hall. Oh, please, 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 please. All right, it's already been decided. If they have the open mic moment Now, listen, I'm not going to say anything, but when the Giants have not had a town hall in 3 years, they have not had a town hall since I asked the Daniel Jones question. I'm not saying that it had anything to do, one thing had anything to do with the other, but they haven't had a town hall since. Oh, you know I'm asking a Joe Schoen question. I may have to go up in disguise, but there will be a Joe Schoen question. The loving Mrs. Online Big Blue goes, they hate you anyway, so you really would think you should ask a Joe Schoen question? I'm like, oh, yeah. They shouldn't allow Joe Schoen to be part of the Giants press run if he's intended to fire him. I wish people understood. I mean, honestly, it just makes no sense that people think that. If they stay relatively healthy, avoid season injuries to key players, they can win 8 to 9 games. I agree. Off Broadway. What's up, brother? What's up, G family? The way Harbaugh intends to practice with his team physicality in the summer will keep us away from having soft tissue injuries late in the season. Yeah, so we should get a 34-year-old wide receiver that hasn't played in a year and a half and bring him in. Zay Flowers was already complaining. He was basically telling the Giants organization, buckle up, buttercups, because you are going to be in for some practice. And we're talking about practice. You're going to be in for some practice. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited to see what the Giants do. They're going to be up in West Virginia for 2 weeks, they're saying. And then they're going to come back. It's either 2 or 3 weeks. Then they're going to come back because you're going to have to come back because you're going to have to start after our first couple of weeks. You're going to have to start playing some preseason games. So they're going to have to come back. I don't know what the World Cup and everything else going on. When are the World Cup games? When are the World Cup games at MetLife? Cup games, MetLife. Let's see. When are the games? Because that's going to tell me what's going to go on. So the World Cup games. Okay, so let's see here. Off Broadway. So the World Cup games run. Oh, wow. Let's see here. June 25th. Let's see. That's in MetLife. We got another game June 30th. So let's see. When is the July 4th? All right. So the last World Cup game was on July 19th. I don't know what's going to go on practice yet, to be honest. We'll have to just kind of wait and see what the schedule is. Tim, if you thought that was bad, we are all at the Magic game. If you thought that was bad, we were at the Magic game. Oh, yeah. I'm sorry, brother. You're at the Magic game? Do you like the Brooklyn Nets? No, I like the New Jersey Nets. I like the New Jersey Nets. No, the Brooklyn Nets are they're our competition. You know, I remember and it's funny though because I remember as a kid I always talk about being dropped off at MSG, excuse me, at MetLife. It was the Meadowlands back then. Getting dropped off and going to Giant games. I remember, with the New Jersey Nets getting dropped off, and going to games there, with the likes of Albert King and what's his name, and Otis Birdsong and Buck Williams, and getting dropped off again over towards the Meadowlands and getting dropped and giving a ticket on my dad and be like, oh, I'll pick you up at the end of the day. I remember when they moved to the Meadowlands back in, I think it was 81. But I remember that. So I was always more of a New Jersey Nets fan. Let's get to that. Salute to Big James. Tim, I never liked the hype up of the New York Knicks when they were in the playoffs. I always seemed to let us down. This is going to be a different year, brother. Cat needs to stay in the paint. The problem is Joel Embiid doesn't stay in the paint. Need to get rid of the worst trading history, which is the Magic. Edge, come on, Philly is a problem too. No, we're going to be fine. By the way, the Giants can also kick the tires on Corleone at nose tackle. He's still unsigned. I didn't know Corleone was still unsigned. I always thought that he would have been. We actually talked about Mr. Corleone a lot, It shows what the fans think in regards to players in reference to what the league thinks. Because we actually had Corley. I didn't know Corleone was still unsigned. I didn't know he was still unsigned. Was there a reason or an issue why he's still unsigned? Because I had him number 4 on my list. I had Kaden McDonald, Peter Woods, Lee Hunter, and then I had Corleone backed up by Orange and Jackson. Is there a reason why he's still on the market? Is there a injury element or injury aspect? Maybe that is preventing him from being signed? Because I think that's can we get some research done in that? I know he had a blood clot scare, but that was in 4. And listen, he's a medical guy. He's a medical history guy, Corleone. He had blood clot in his lungs, a knee issue, and he had an ankle injury in did he have the ankle injury last year? But for him to still be a undrafted free agent, that's weird. I'm looking it up. Maybe with Corleone, something was going on with the medicals. I don't know. Happy birthday to me. I think OG should be a playoff MVP. Listen, OG Anunoby, I've said this before. The New York Knicks right now are built to win the playoffs. They were built. This whole team was built to beat the Celtics. This team was built to make a playoff run. This team was built from top down. Now we have a bench. We have shooters. We have wing defenders. Mitchell Robinson, and unless Embiid does something stupid to Mitchell Robinson again, but we have the guys to guard Embiid. We can, and people are like, well, you know what, a Cat needs to play in the paint more. No, I'd rather have Cat on the outside a little bit, facilitate and draw Embiid out from under the basket. And if you do that, especially on offense, you're going to create an open space. And then, like I said, pull the guard out and run a little bit of a pick and roll. Happy birthday to Tim. Thank you. Who do you take, OBJ or Bateman? I don't take anyone. If you want me to be honest, I don't take either one. I don't see a need. I don't see a necessity yet. I don't see a need to make these to make these nostalgic moves. I don't see it. People also forget, you also got Isaiah Likely, who played 270% of his 270 snaps last year in the slot. So you're going to move him around, and if you can get Theo Johnson's head screwed on right, we've talked about Theo Johnson all the time. We always go back to Bull Durham with Crash Davis. Theo Johnson is like he said about Nuke Lelouch. It's $1 million arm and a 2-cent head. Theo Johnson, if he could literally screw his head on right and fucking figure it out, you have a good tight end room. And if you use Patrick Ricard as your your 6th blocker, which we've talked about. Now remember this, Patrick Ricard over the last 2 seasons only averages like 38% of the offensive snaps. So he's not a guy that's going to come in. People think he's going to be this full-time fullback. That's not what they use him for. That's not how they plays. But you got enough guys. Just got to get our heads screwed on straight. Actually, I mentioned, yeah, you did. You did. Happy birthday, you old fuck. Well, thank you. Well, in all fairness, I did text you, but not at 6 a.m. Let me see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm the dick. Did you text me? I got too many text messages today. I don't see it. Oh, yeah. You texted me at 10:22 this morning. What's up, Evan? Shout out to Big Trenton. Shout out to the baby girl. It's now 6 months old. He played 23 games in the last 3 years. Odell. Yeah, I agree. Happy birthday. Thank you, Slider. Now Slider's texting me. Off Broadway. OBJ magically gets in the time machine and plays like 24 years old. Come on. I know. What was I thinking? People get offended because I speak the truth. And this is what I loved, because I kept trying to tell people, now that I'm more kinder, gentler, Tim, people are still going to get offended because I'm still going to tell you the truth. See my watch? My wife got me a new watch. I got a nice watch, new sports watch. I love these watches. I love sport watches because they tell everything. This is and this one I like even more because it's got a big face and it's easier to read. Pissing Tim off on his birthday. Come on, fun fact, idiots. Slayton is a better option at wide receiver than OBJ right now. Well, I think the thing is, James, they're saying with the core muscle injury, that, which will not keep him out of camp, which he'll be well ready for from the beginning of camp, that we should bring in OBJ. There's nothing nostalgic about bringing in a soon-to-be 34-year-old wide receiver who hasn't played in a year and a half. And I love it because people see him running on the treadmill. And they got the bungee cord on the treadmill, and he's jumping over boxes. He's doing all these exercises. He's ready. Well, until they put a treadmill on the field and they have box jumps on the field, doesn't mean shit to me. Same thing with the guy that can kick a 70-yard field goal with nobody in front of him. A lot different. It looks great on tape, looks great on film. It gives you that warm feeling inside, but the honest truth is, at the end of the day, what does it mean? It doesn't mean anything. Doesn't mean anything unless you're hitting the like button. Tim, I've come to watch your live streams, but I don't want your opinion. Yes, I know. I can't have an opinion. Right? OBJ was set to win the MVP of the Super Bowl. He got injured. You get mad. I didn't get mad. I don't get mad. But here's the problem. It has nothing to do with anything weird. This is why, Xavier, I love you, brother. This is why you're a fucking idiot. What did he do? I didn't say he did anything weird. No one said he did anything weird in LA or Baltimore. Who did he mentor in LA and Baltimore? Whom did he make better in LA and Baltimore? Who? We'll wait. Whom in LBJ's career can you say LBJ took this guy under his wing and said, I'm going to teach you to be a professional wide receiver and I'm going to make you better? Who? We'll wait. We'll wait. We're waiting. Anytime you're ready. Just let us know what wide receiver he made better. What player did he make better on any of those teams? What player has come out and said the tutelage of OBJ led me to be the best player that I've ever been? We'll wait. And I love how OBJ was going to be. He got hurt, but he had 2 receptions for 52 yards. He had 35 of those yards on one play, and it was a busted play. Okay. I hear Chode Sports looking for people. Fresh mountain air, no distractions, team's chemistry, off the rip. I kind of do like that. Why don't they leave the grass up for the World Cup? I don't know. Because the Giants people forget the Giants used to have a grass field. When we were in the Meadowlands, we had a grass field. It was god awful. It's difficult to have 2 professional teams. You got to remember, we are having 2 professional teams play an entire, back then it was 16 weeks. 16 weeks. Now it's 17-week season. So you have people coming in and playing 17 home games on this turf. It's not an easy task in this climate, and also up in New York for the field. So that's why they kind of go a lot of times with these fields. And the Giants just haven't figured it out. But we had Oh God, it was awful in the middle. That turf was terrible. Hit the like button, good people. Hit the like. In regards to OBJ, once you break up, you never make up. I don't even, you know what the thing is with OBJ? I would bring him back if there was value. No one can tell me, Xavier, tell me the value. What is the value of a 34-year-old wide receiver who hasn't played in a year and a half who got suspended for PEDS? No one said what weird thing. I love because, you know, when people say stupid shit, well, it didn't do anything weird in those two spots. So you're telling me he did weird shit everywhere else? What about Miami, his last stop? Did he do anything weird in Miami? I'm going to say yes, and I'm just asking for a friend. People get offended by that. My God. We always talk about the pussification of the male here in this 2026, but damn. Don't forget Daryl Dawkins. Oh, Chocolate Thunder, man. Daryl Dawkins was such a nice guy. Not to go off on a New Jersey Nets tangent, but I love Daryl Dawkins. Daryl Dawkins, you as a kid, you could go down, and we never had seats, you know, on the court. We were always up in the top there, but you could go down and watch the shoot around. The Nets back in the day didn't have a lot of rules because they didn't have a lot of people in the stadium a bunch of times, but you could literally go down and watch them play. And I remember in 85 talking, you know, a bunch of kids going down and talking to Daryl Dawkins as he was warming up. And 85 was not one of his better, you know, was not one of his better. He had a good season, he averaged like 15 points that year. But Daryl, outside of 2 seasons at the beginning of his net career where you played 80 games, towards the latter half of his career, he didn't play a lot. But he was Daryl Dawkins as a kid, talking to an MVP and talking to a guy like Daryl Dawkins just kind of made your day. And he was just exuberant. He has passed, of course. He was exuberant. He was full of life. He was just a great guy to talk to. I mean, like I said, and as a kid, when you know you're sitting there that close and you're talking to these professional athletes, and the 85 season, the Nets weren't good. I think they only won like 40 games. But you still loved Mike Jaminski and Otis Birdsong, and you had Mike O'Korn, Albert King. Back then, I still think Michael Ray Richardson was still on the team. I don't think he got suspended from PG. I mean, I don't think he didn't get suspended again for drugs. But that was, like I said, back in the day, man. You used to get dropped off. Like I said, you get dropped off in the Meadowlands, $20, and your parents would be like, and especially I love because the net game started like at 7:05, so they were done before 10. So you would be like, your dad would, my dad would drop us off and be like, okay, I'll pick you up at 10:15. Be out here in front 10:15. Harris just signed with the Saints. Okay, I didn't know that. Sliders said, "What's up, Tim?" Let's see. Joe says, "Absolutely, I feel like them being West Virginia is better for team chemistry, opposed to being closer at home, with more distractions, especially if with a new head coach getting ready." Yeah, I could see that. You could do a little of Remember the Titans. There's health concern. Well, the blood clot was in 22. 24, he had the knee injury. Last year, he had the ankle injury. So I don't know with the Corleone if that's an issue now. So let's see. I have to wait and see. The blood clot the blood clot was skipped, but the blood clot was almost 4 years ago. Happy birthday to me. Thank you, Slider. The best season was his freshman season. Production was diminished each year. Celtics are gone. Thank God. Can the Knicks beat the Thunder? No. The question is this, Evan. How many games will it take for the Knicks to beat the Thunder? Knicks in 6. I'm going against Philly. Knicks in 5. Game 1 and 2 are at MSG. If we can continue the domination, the cat domination, we can have the cat domination because he is zesty. We can have him play. We're going to take it. No one's beating OKC. We are, brother. Take that back. Take that back right now, James. Delete that comment right now, or I will not talk to you for 3 days. Oh, man. Happy birthday. Thank you, my friend. Yes, we're not trading for Bateman. No need to. Celtics lose. No 100K, no new Dodge vehicle or green eggs. Now I know I'm a little upset about it. I have to admit, Mrs. OBJ was very crushed because Boston came back, was down by 1, and she was like, "They're gonna do it. They're gonna do it. They're coming back." And I'm like, "Yeah." And then secretly, I'm thinking to myself, because I already placed a net. I already went to the Mighty FanDuel and placed a bet on the Knicks. Now I don't win $100,000, but I still get like $10,000 if they win, because I took them when they are at plus 1,500. Now they're at plus 750. If Theo Johnson's head is attached to his body, I see him taking a jump. This is the thing with Theo Johnson. Theo Johnson has all the abilities. He has all the intangibles. He is, when people were like, "Oh my God, we lost Dane Bellinger," I was like, well, I don't fucking care, because I got a 6'6", 264 pound tight end that if he can figure out his game, who had 45 receptions for 500 and something plus yards and 5 touchdowns last year, if he could figure it out, he went from 330 yards his rookie season to 500 plus. He went from 1 touchdown to 5. Now, the thing that scares me a little bit about Theo Johnson, his catch percentage for a tight end is not great. His catch percentage rookie season was 67%. It dropped to 60% last year. So he dropped 7%. That is, it's a little good. It's not good. His receiving success rate dropped from 51% to 41% also. But the thing is this, I wanted Ty Warren. I don't qualms about it. I wanted him. I thought he was going to, he was a perfect tight end. I thought he was a guy that, of course he goes over to the Baltimore Colts. He does everything that he does. He does that thing. He does 76 receptions for 817 yards and 4 touchdowns. But I think that Theo Johnson could be Ty Warren-esque if he gets his head fucking screwed on. My mother would always say, if you use your brain, you would be dangerous. I get that. Big Green Egg is the bomb. I have one. The XL. Well, Joe, we have 3. Because we have different sizes. And it was funny though, because sometimes you just want to make a steak. So I actually got the small. And I don't think it's the small. I think it's the travel one, because it's in the carriage. And I laugh because I use them to I use it at Giant games. One. Pshaw. That's not a green. You're not an egger. 6 defensive tackles will be a rookie camp on Friday. 1 draft pick, 200 frees, and 3 invites. Yeah, we're fine. Or if you had a brain, you'd be dangerous. I get that one all the time. James Williams says Theo Johnson doesn't know where the ocean is. Yeah. His geography, if you remember the Hard Knocks, the gift that keeps on giving, his geography is not what I would refer to as the best. But you know what? As long as he's there on the field, we're good. Who wins at Jeopardy, Scatterboo or Theo Johnson? That's you. Let's skip that one. Happy birthday, says T-Bird. Thank you, brother. Joe Ferries, I don't think so, but we both love to waste money on toys. It's not a waste of money. I've had my one green egg for 12 years now. It's an initial investment, but they never go bad. What's the fact that the Giants didn't exercise a running back in the draft speaks volumes for Cam Scatterroom running behind Picard. My thing is this with the Giant running back room. People want to talk about the Giant wide receiver. People want to talk about Odell Beckham. We need Odell Beckham because there's no logical reason or explanation besides the fact that people are nostalgic. You need a running back. You got Cam Scatterboot coming off an injury. You got Tyrone Tracy, who's probably never going to be more a guy to get you 500-600 yards. Devin Singletary's now been reduced to a third down short yardage back. Eric Gray hasn't played in years. And Dante Miller, well, just, you know what the problem is with Dante Miller? He's got the speed. He's got the, he's there. The only problem is he can only run fucking straight. And we've seen it in preseason. You bump him off his game a little bit. You touch him a little bit. He's so small, he goes flying 47 yards into the sideline. He had that last play. He had that play at the last preseason game when he cut around the corner. We all thought it was going to be a huge play. And it was like a 20, 30-yard play. But guy just literally tapped him. He went flying 47 yards into the sideline. You need to worry about your running back room. Fuck Kind and Gentle. Y'all tell everyone to get off your lawn. I always do. Mad Ramblings of a Gen Xer. Like I said, the fact the Giants didn't exercise an option on the running back in the draft speaks volumes for Scatterboot, Tracy, and behind the Ricard. It also tells you that you can't fix everything at once. The Giants addressed the needs that they thought were most prevalent right now, and also the fact that you got to remember they couldn't because they traded 2 picks. They traded their 4th and their 5th round pick. I don't want OBJ either, but shit, he's better than Slayton. No, let's not get fucking crazy. For all, I am not a Darius Slayton guy. I didn't like when they re-signed him. I remember when he got benched years back, but Darius Slayton is anything but is everything that you think he is, but he's consistent. And don't say he consistently drops catches. He is consistent. And he is a wide receiver that has a 58.7% catch percentage. You could talk about the drops, you could talk about everything else, but he does has his moments. He does, but every wide receiver, every team, every guy has drops. That's just the way it is. That's just football. His drops always just seem to be more prevalent in situations where you're like, okay, well, he shouldn't have dropped that. But I keep saying this over and over again because everyone talks about the Giants' drops last year. Think about this, and I keep telling people this over and over again. There is not one Giant in the top 15, or excuse me, the top 20 last year in regards to drops. There's not a guy. There's not a Giant on that list. And actually, if you go by his drop percentage, Darius Slayton, his highest drop percentage was in 24, which was 15.2% drop rate. He cut that in half to 7 point, a little under half. At 7.5% drop rate. This is a guy that improved, also at one point in time at a 3.4% drop percentage. But this is a guy that had a drop rate of 7.9. The year prior had 15.2%. So you could talk all you want about Darius Slayton, but Darius Slayton is still a professional wide receiver. He can still get behind the defense. He's just got to catch the fucking ball, but he doesn't drop it as much as people think. He just drops. His drops just usually seem to come at the most inopportune time. What's up, Marcus? Happy birthday, Tim. Best podcast that goes. The Giants watch the Pacers in 2027. We'll be back. 2027. We're already talking about the 2027 Pacers. Listen, I gotta get through the Knicks. I can't worry about Halliburton right now. Some Giant content creators, but thank you, brother. Some Giant content creators are living unstaffed kickers. Here we go, Michigan. It's fine. It's fine. Tim Zayflowers and Cooper Flag, not Cooper Cup. Excuse me, Tim Zayflowers and Cooper Cup, not Cooper Cup. Okay. How long ago was the Super Bowl 2021? But don't worry, James. He's in 2021 shape where he got hurt. It's crazy that they can produce this ridiculous OBJ rumor and we still talk about nonstop for a week. You know what, honestly, and people are like, why do you continuously talk about the OBJ shit? Because you have to. Because it's the news. It's the news cycle. Like sitting there saying we only have 52 likes when we should have 70. I'm working on my birthday, guys. I think midseason, Malik is our number 2 wide receiver. Happy birthday, bud. Who's going to be your number 1? I'm going to tell you right now, don't sleep on Darnell Mooney. I still think Malik will be a number 1 option. And I still think he'll be a number 1 wide receiver. But I could see a realm of possibility where, and I know it's crazy to fucking say, where Isaiah Likely and Theo Johnson take over as the number 1 and number 2 potential options, especially in the Matt Nagy system. And Darnell Mooney, like I said, best season came under the tutelage of Matt Nagy. 2021. But don't worry, it was only 5 years ago. He's in 2021 Ram shape. Where only had 35 receptions the entire season, and he got hurt. But don't worry, he was going on to win the Super Bowl. He was going on to be Super Bowl MVP because he had 1 catch for 35 yards and the other one for 15. He was going to be MVP. Cooper Kupp was going to win the MVP. Mr. Perry, I know it. You know it. The only person doesn't fucking get it is Xavier. I feel bad because he doesn't come with facts. He goes, well, what weird things did he do in there? No one said he did. No one even brought up the fact that he did anything weird, which tells me you think he does things that are weird if you go by the rule of psychology. I was just saying, what did he do in Miami? Miami was a dysfunctional team as writing, and OBJ did not help them. Many great players are not great mentors. OBJ is one of those guys. It's not a crime. Just not. We talked about this before, Joe. Jerry Rice, most prolific wide receiver in NFL history, would not mentor anyone. He was more concerned about his own game. You don't hear. Go ask Jonathan. I want not yelling at you. Go ask Jonathan Taylor. I got one name for you now, Victor Cruz. Well, Victor Cruz isn't coming back. Where's Victor Cruz coming back? I got 2. I got one name, Jesus. I love Victor Cruz, undrafted free agent. You gotta love Victor. It costs money to put on nice grass. What ridiculous take the Giants would do that? 2 teams, grass field, winters equals. Yeah, we tried the grass field back in the Meadowlands. It was god awful. It was torn up. To your point, Joe. You would go into December and the field would look like shit. Is it really that hard to put down and take care? Yes, actually it is. And when you know it's funny. Yes, it actually is. We have. I still have. He's still around. I have a friend that works for a company that provides grass fields for colleges and pro teams. And I laughed because we once did I wonder if I have the thing. We once did a thing in reference to the best grass fields. Hold on. Let's see if I can find it. And it was funny though, because the giant. Hold on. I gotta see if I can find it. Hold on, I gotta see if I can find this, because we went through a whole fucking thing about this. Because there is the best grasses to use are Tifway 419 Bermuda grass for long-standing standards, which were used mainly for professional fields. You also have just Tif Turf Bermuda grass, which is exceptionally you're going to have for high tolerance to drought, wear and tear resistance. You also have the Kentucky bluegrass, which is selected for lush appearance, and it easily repairs itself through some enzymes. You have wear tolerance, recovery rate fields. Oh, he sent me this whole fucking thing once about the fields. And the reason the Giants couldn't use a certain segment of these grass, I'm trying to find the whole email, was because of the weather. But it is turf grass is the best, and usually it's Bermuda. It's usually Bermuda grassless, Kentucky bluegrass, perennial Ryan grass, tall something, and they also have this grass which is called sports turf grass. Oh yeah, we went through this whole thing once with the grass field. I forgot all about that. And also, you got to remember there's seams, and it's the whole thing. I think the OBJ is more of a distraction than I do too. Just say he's not coming here. I don't get it. Even if it's $1 million a week, you're paying some of these guys $23 million and not protecting your investment. It's not as easy as you think to lay down a grass field. I keep trying to, like I said, we literally went through all the different grasses. You know, there's Maui Wowie. There's I'm sorry, wrong grass. But that's just it. First you love me, then you hate me. It's a game for fools. You're right. Big James says we have nothing to talk about if we still talking about OBJ. Let's go next. Mets. Any thoughts on Banks not getting his 5th-year option? Yeah. I'm glad he didn't. The 5th-year option was here's the one thing that I worry about Banks. For a few seasons now, 2 seasons now, Banks has played in the wrong defense. And we watched the completion percentage against go up from his first year with Wink to the last year, 2 years of Shane Bowen. He's got an 82.7% completion percentage against with Shane Bowen under Shane Bowen that last year. I'm concerned and worried that we didn't pick up his 5th-year option, which was been $12.5 million, I think, guaranteed. And then all of a sudden he flicks the switch because he goes back to being a press cover corner. And we're like going to have to then, under consideration, think, let's say he plays in 15 games, and let's say he plays so much better than he did the last 2 seasons, and he has this marked improvement, and he goes from being a $12 million corner to a $20 million corner. I know it's a gamble, but I do think he's just been in the wrong system for 2 seasons. It just kind of makes sense. The bank is open on the Mets. What's your opinion on Scat? If you can get healthy for 1,500 yards, I don't have any opinion on that. Because I don't have any opinion on that, to be honest, because of the fact that I didn't see a 15-yard back when he was healthy. And it's one of those things with Cam Scatterbo. I now think the legend is bigger than the player. And that happens for a certain period of time when you all of a sudden, you're performing well enough. But this is a guy that in 100 carries only had 4 yards a carry. He's better at times catching the ball, and I just kind of think that right now people are thinking of the talent of Cam Scatterbo, but they're not thinking of the like I said, it's more of the legend of Scatterbo than anything else. If you think about it, he really only had one big game, and that was the Philly game, where he had 19 carries for 98 yards. Before that, he had -2, 45, 60, 69, 59, 60. And then, of course, he got hurt. And the Denver loss, it was carrying under 4 yards a carry. And he also, people forget about the fumble in the New Orleans game where he only had 15 carries for 59 yards. I think the legend of Scatterbo is growing bigger than the talent right now. I hope I'm wrong. Losing Alonso and some homegrown leadership to the Mets, it was time. Let's see here. Embiid is going to leave the arena on a gurney by games. I think by game. He's already dancing around. He's Tim, do the cat gif. What would make you think that I would still have the cat gif? He's zesty. I always love people because you got to figure, you don't know if Cat, you don't know what his orientation is, but people are like, well, what if Cat's gay? I was like, I don't fucking care. Why the fuck do I care? If he gets me an NBA championship, I've said it before. I've said it before with quarterbacks when they're talking about Caleb Williams with his crying and the nail polish. I was like, listen, if he gets me 12 wins, it gets me the Super Bowl. He can wear a polka dotted skirt on the field with nail polish if he wanted to. I don't give a fuck. Win me some fucking games. 1,500 yards and 12 touchdowns for a healthy Scat? No. No. Has Zeidler? I don't think Kevin Zeidler's been signed yet. Has Zeidler been signed? I don't think he has. McLovin has a better chance of coming on this show as Zeidler does. I would have McLovin on. I don't hold grudges. That's not me.
I am McLovin.
I don't hold grudges unless you're stupid. I love it because we're talking about having a guest on. And Mrs. Online Big Blue, you gotta love Mrs. Online Big Blue. Talking about having a guest on, and they're like, you're going to have him on? I was like, yeah. He goes, well, didn't you insult him? I was like, well, if it goes by the fact that I've insulted someone, I will never have any guests on. I said, I didn't insult Carl Banks. I spoke the truth about Carl Banks, and Carl Banks came on. You come on. People come on. People get it. Hello, James. Are the Giants better off playing a 4-3 or a 3-4? That's a great question. Unless you figure out your linebacking situation a little bit more and you're off on your outside linebacker position, you're better off playing a 4-3. Especially with your undersized defensive ends, you're just going to have to bring in a few more defensive tackles. It's just as an oddly built team. They need an ace, some reliever, and a banger in the middle of first baseman. That's right. Do the cat dance. We did the cat dance. Still like $500 million on the shit. Hilarious. Yeah, I know. It's a pretty shit show. Green eggs and ham sounds like for Joe Shane. We're going to have a Joe Shane. My mother always says if someone hits you with a chair, hit them back with a table. I really miss her. I saw an interview where Cam Scatterby said he was going the wrong direction as a youth, and he did a complete 360. If he did a complete 360, wouldn't he be doing the same direction? I did not hear that. I did not hear that interview. If someone has that interview, could you send me that? Because, yes, you would do a 180. You wouldn't do a 360 because you would be facing the exact direction. Zeiler is not a fit for the Giants. He played his entire right guard position. The weakness on the Giants is offensive line, is left guard. Not going to ask a 12-year-old vet to switch sides and expect him to produce. Let's see. Joe, you can't spell CTE without Cam Scatterby. Yes, John Runyon keeps his job. He will likely be replaced in 2027. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. Freddy Krueger has better hands than but you got to remember, guys, this is the thing with more drops than T-Mobile. That's okay. That's pretty fucking funny. Not 2 years ago, he had a 15.9% drop percentage. Now he cut it down to 7. It's just his drops always come at the worst times. That was good. More drops than T-Mobile. That is pretty good. Dyslexic and doesn't know how to read a comment. Actually, I'm dyslexic, and I also have number transference. Yeah, I am. So what's your point? You want to call me dyslexic and I have number transference on my birthday? Go right ahead. Go ahead. Make your little fucking jokes. Go ahead. Make your fucking jokes about a brain disorder that I've had to live with since I was a child. Come on, it's funny. Come on, make some more jokes. Let's all be fucking hilarious about it. And of course, I'm kidding.
Are you a big man? Huh? I'm talking to you. What? You wake up in the morning, you say, I put on my big boy pants. Look, I'm wearing a belt. I got big boy pants on.
I would drink 25 Coors Lights to read like that. OBJ, a waste on the roster. Happy birthday, Mr. Tim. Thank you, Bruce. I appreciate that. Fun fact, trying out for the Giants this Friday, BYU, Miles Davis. I did not know. How cool is that? I did not know that. Is he related to the other Miles Davis? Is he related to him? OBJ roster of a waste spot. You're right. You're right. Did you hear about the dyslexic rabbi? He walks around saying, yo, yo, yo. Jesus already made his big comeback. The hell was that? Something happened upstairs. Joe, your comments, like the top 3 phones internet moments, absolutely riot to me. Let's see here. Jesus saves, but Joe Esposito scores on the rebound. They can use the grass from Caddyshack, the bone that Bill Murray invented. Banks sucks. Well, I don't know if he sucks, but we're going to have to see Trent. Banks can return kicks until he's inevitable, fucks that up and loses that spot too. That's a possibility. For the last 2 years, everyone has played in the wrong defense. It's that what you want to call it. I don't call it a defense. Shane Bowen should never get another DC job unless it's in the UFL. I'm taller than Cam Scottaboo. Let's see here. I already think he's gay and I don't care. Ride a unicorn. What? That would just be so wrong. If the mighty cat rode the unicorn.
That's what she said.
Oh, what do we got here? What's up, Mr. Harbaugh? Hey, guys, I'm hoping the Knicks in 5. I'm going Knicks in 5. I'm already calling it, guys. Knicks in 5. Knicks in 5, baby. McLovin is with Luca Brasi. He's sleeping with the fishes. Hey, James Williams, how are you, brother? Let's see here. James, come on. Where are you at, James? Come on. Come on over. Come on over, James Williams. I'll put the link in the chat. James Miles Davis will play trumpeter at his tryout. That's the only reason I remember Miles. Banks is on the Devin Hester career arc. No, because Devin Hester, for all Devin Hester's abilities, Devin Hester was nothing more than a punt returner ever. They tried Devin Hester. They tried him as a wide receiver, which was not, I think he had, how many receiving yards? Devin Hester, I think he had like 3,000 yards receiving. But I think for his total career, I don't know if Devin Hester had over 100 yards rushing. But I know he had 3,000 plus yards receiving, Devin Hester did. But I also know that he had more yards returning punts than he did receiving yards. I know he had more total yards just on kick returns than ever. But Devin Hester was the ultimate guy that was he was the ultimate single option player. Except they tried to use him in different spots. Can John Harbaugh be head coach and GM? Yeah, why not? I don't see why not. I would think that he could. And if you have Dawn working the contracts, and Dawn's been stellar with what's going on with her contracts, I mean, yeah, why not? Come on over, baby. Come on, we're not even at 60 likes yet. Cat needs a step ladder to get to that unicorn, his vertical leap. It ain't happening otherwise. Yes, but Cat can facilitate and he can matriculate. John Harbaugh, what's up? What do you think of the 76ers? What do we need to do well against them? We just need to show up. We need to show up. We need to play a team style offense. We got to keep the ball away from Brunson and his dribble, pump fake 47 times and then shoot with a second left on the 24-second clock. We have to run the offense through Cat like we've done his last 2 triple doubles. Let him be the facilitator. Listen, for a big man, Cat can pass the ball. I'm not saying he's Ben Simmons 6'10", 6'11" point guard-esque. I'm not having to bring the ball up. But if we want to keep Joel Embiid away from the interior of the basket on offense, on Knicks offense, then the easiest thing to do is keep Cat up a little bit more on top of the key. Let's see here. The out of Debo is after the season. Yeah, so you have one more year of pulse on Debo. Must be okay paying him $20 million if they step up or move on from both next season. Make a move for top corner free agent with Hood. I think Hood's gonna play. I think Colton Hood's gonna play more of a invaluable role to this Giants secondary than most people are thinking. As a second round pick, you always expect your first round picks and your second round picks to contribute immediately. I think Hood's going to be that guy. I think Hood's going to come in with any and every opportunity to make this team and to be a big part of what's going on. All my big blue, why in 5? Give me your reason, because I'm a Knicks fan. Because I want it over, and I want it over quick. I'm letting James get set up. Make sure I'll know there's no purses behind him. James, John Harbaugh wants to why I'm saying Knicks in 5.
Embiid's knees, Paul George's steroids,
and Embiid is limited.
And the unicorn is riding. The unicorn is riding.
We've already said, James, now that my bet is fucked.
Luck of the Irish.
You and I, when we get ready to close out the series at MSG, you and I are going to be wearing this shirt.
I am.
I am. James and I are going to the game, and we are going to wear this shirt. So now you can forgive me for my Celtics bet.
Well, I find it extremely hilarious that you kind of put the kibosh on their season with your bet. That couldn't have come crashing down any worse for them. It was all year. Jaylen Brown is an MVP candidate. Look how good they had a better record than us for part of the season. Wow. And then you get into the playoffs. It's like I was telling this dude at my job. Shout out to Dylan if he's listening. And I know a lot of y'all are younger out there. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Happy birthday to my brother. I did text you when I woke up. Son of a biscuit. But Tatum should not have rushed back. No. There was no need for him to rush back. Then you get into a tight series against a rival who knows you. Embiid decided he wanted to play. You can't even go game 7. Derek White sitting there going, I got to save the day. I don't think so.
So what club were you at last night?
Oh, no. Let me tell you something. I'm not going to go to.
Go like this. Take your wrist. Raise your wrist. I thought that was a club band.
No. That's my Knicks band.
I thought you still had the band on from the club.
Oh, yeah. No, I don't usually cut those off when I go. Right, you're right. Yeah.
And you look down on Tuesday, and it's like, oh shit, I'm still fucking wearing this.
Like, oh snap! Damn it, still has that Hennessy stain on there.
But go ahead.
Damn it, I forgot what I was going to. You got me thinking.
You're back in the club. See, I knew it.
Oh no, I was going to say about what I'm noticing about my new job, because you know where I work. I'm not going to say right now, but it's just like any other job. There are customers that come in last minute, and it just holds up the whole process. Like, we stay open till 11 on Saturdays, and it's like, why are you walking in here at 10:58, lady? Old Asian lady. And I love Asian people, but old Asian lady. Why are you coming in here at 10:58? Like, you didn't know what you wanted to do before then.
Because you have a witch coat.
Oh, I know. But it's like, she's like sitting at home going, you know what? I'm bored. Let me go get some fruit snacks.
But at the end of the day, James, I mean, we have, and I don't want to talk about Knicks. I do want to talk about Knicks. Fuck it. We have 2 games tonight, which could be telling for the East Finals in reference to our opponents. We potentially could be playing either the Magic or the Raptors. And the RJ Barrett shot was the Tyler Halliburton shot. Mrs. Online Big Blue says the likes need to improve. So make sure you're hitting the like button. But I mean,
hit those likes for our brother on his birthday.
He hits the back of the rim. The ball shoots up 47 feet in the air and falls right in RJ Barrett. So you were kind of happy with RJ Barrett. But there could be truly a clear path for the Knicks to get to the finals. I mean, there are so many teams that we match up so well against that there could be, it's almost like the basketball gods are lining up. But to your point, do we have enough to play that one other team in the finals? I'm not going to say whom, but do we have enough to go against them? I mean, because right now, like I said, you could have a Magic Raptors semifinal, which then I would just be like, listen, if the Knicks don't get to the finals and they have Philly and either have to play the Raptors or the Magic, I would be like, you would have to fire Mike Brown the day after the season ended.
Somebody made a comment in there earlier, and they were like, "He was going to get Mike Brown's not going to get fired if we don't make the finals. He was going to get fired if we lost to the Hawks, but we've passed that bridge, so he's good now." But in regards to what you were saying,
wait, what if the Knicks get swept? What if the Knicks lose 3-4? Hell, let's just say it's 4-1.
Well, yeah, gentlemen's sweep. You know what? That the firing might be back on the table then. Yeah, I'll say that. Yeah, that might be up to come resurface because technically, as great as the last 3 games were against the Hawks, you were down in that series, and you should not have been. There's no reason we should have been down 2-1 to Jalen Johnson, the greatest Brit basketball player. No, I don't know. That guy's voice is still crazy to me. He doesn't sound like he looks, which is fine. But the Magic are going to lose tonight because if, like the dude said in the comment earlier, if you watch the game they had before, just the swing of the momentum and how they lost that game, and then my boy Wagner is out for this game, so Pistons are probably going to beat them. The Raptors and the Cavs are interesting because I've never been a James Harden fan, and this is kind of why, because you're watching the Cavs with Donovan Mitchell and James Harden literally struggle with the dinosaurs. They're struggling against the dinosaurs who don't have their best player in Brandon Ingram. So I think that the Knicks can beat anybody who's left in these playoffs on the East. I'm not worried about matchups, but OKC we'll worry about that when we get there.
We're going to worry about the OKC beast. Well, OKC still got to get there.
Yeah. We got to get there too.
Warning, sarcasm. Warning, sarcasm.
Sorry. Yeah, they got to still get there. But it sucks though, and we talked about this briefly. It sucks though that game 1 is Monday.
I kind of like it though because
I don't know. You don't get to revel though a little bit as
no. We don't need that. No. That's the Knicks' problem. We don't need that crap. They need to get right back on the unicorn and keep riding. That's what they need. The momentum is good. I'm so happy, Philly. And that's right. Keep on riding. Them pink Air Force Ones. Keep on riding.
Yes.
I'm serious. I love that picture she did. That is so apropos. I mean, obviously, I love the shark one, but that pic with the unicorn, with the fire, and the pink air, that is so Cat.
That is Cat in a nutshell.
He would probably like that.
I'm telling you, man, when we get ready to close it out, that's what we're wearing.
That's fine. I'll wear it.
That's what we're wearing. And we're going to have that on the front, and we're going to have Catmandu on the back.
Catmandu.
That's
Snowpiercer. I almost said something.
You can. It's my birthday. You can say whatever you want.
No. Not this one. I'll save that for.
All right. Well, don't say that. Don't get me in trouble right now, though.
But go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, as far as Giants news, the only thing I really did see was the banks. Obviously, Joe said the bank is closed on the 5th year. We're not doing that. But what in your opinion? What is one last thing you would like to see happen? Let me ask you a real Giants question here. What is one last move you would like to see them do before we actually get
into mandatory minicamp?
Yeah. If you had your way, if you were sitting in the room with Harbaugh and Shane, and you could tell Harbaugh to make Shane do something, what would you have him do?
I am still not happy or content with the running back room. I know we always talked about we're not going to fix this team all at once. It's not going to get fixed all at once, and I get that and I understand that. But if you take a look at our running back room, if you sit there and you are happy with Cam Scatterboo, Tyrone Tracy, and Devin Singletary backed up by Eric Gray and Turbo Miller, I am concerned.
I am concerned.
I'm concerned that you are relying on guys that, and I understand. Listen, Joe Mixon, Najee Harris are still out there. I think Nick Chubb is still even out there, and these aren't names anymore that are going to be guys that are going to be bell cow back. But we need some kind of presence in that running back room. And I was already worrying about Cam Scatterboo before the injury, because after the Philly game, people kind of forget, and he didn't even have 100 yards in the Philly game. He then had like 58 yards, 60 yards, and then the injury. So this was a guy that was only averaging 4 yards a carry and 100 carries leading up to his injury. So, I mean, I have to say, unless they make some kind of move in that running back room, you have to be a little bit concerned.
Yeah. It's funny what you were saying earlier. I feel like that's very right on point, where you said the legend of Scatterboo is starting to be bigger than the actual player.
Yeah.
And it's crazy that you're even saying that, because it's true, because the guy hasn't even played a full season, and it feels like he has a legend already. And it's weird, and as good as people want to say Cam Scatterboo is, he doesn't even run as hard as a guy that used to be in the league named Trent Richardson. Trent Richardson ran pretty similar to me than Cam Scatterboo, and he didn't have a long career either.
Trent Richardson didn't have any career outside of one season, his rookie season.
So, and again, with Cam Scatterboo, he hasn't even played one full season yet. So I agree with your point. I thought we would have addressed the running back in the draft, but I think once Jeremiah Love, once they got off that and they got Reese, and a couple other picks, obviously we had a great draft. So I'm not saying that, we should have got a running back. No, but I am hoping that maybe undrafted, maybe that's, you were talking about undrafted Giants who had an impact. Maybe we can find a running back undrafted somewhere, bring him into camp or something. Who knows?
Mr. Young, Tracy's never had 1,000 yards. He's never had 1,000 yards rushing in a season. Tyrone Tracy has never had 1,000 yards rushing season. Now, if you're talking total combined yards, yes, but he's never been 1,000-yard rusher in the NFL.
And I do like Tracy, but I feel like he's more of a second or complimentary. Like, he's not the prime back.
His best season was his rookie. It was 24. We had 839 yards, and then he had 740 last year. And then he also went through a spurt last year where it was he was. And this is the thing with Tyrone Tracy that I don't get, James. He has these games early on in the season, 15 yards. 24 yards, 15 yards, 29 yards, 6, 46, 39, 18. And then he has a spurt, like a 2-game stretch where he has like 71 yards and 88. And then as you get towards like week 14, he did this the last 2 years. He'll go 70, 71, 72, 103. It's almost like it takes him 9 weeks of the season to get rolling.
Well, is it taking him 9 weeks, or is just that by the time he gets to the end of the season, other teams know that they're out of it and they're not really playing as hard either? You know,
that too.
So it's a bad combination of two things with him. To your point.
But like I said, with Tyrone Tracy, though, I like Tyrone Tracy, but to your point, I
do too.
I think he's a second back.
Yeah.
I don't think he's, to your point, I don't think he is a number one back. I don't think he's the bell cow guy. And when you have your two starters backed up by Eric Gray and Turbo Miller, and Devin Singletary has been basically relegated to a short down back and third down receiver. I mean, if you're not concerned about, you are an injury away at your running back. You could say you're an injury away in your wide receiver core, but you still have Darnell Mooney. I know people don't like Darius Slayton, but we've shown that Darius Slayton 2024 drop percentage was 15.9. It was 7 last year. It's just his drops are always a little bit more highlighted because they come at the worst times.
I was going to say the timing of it. Yeah.
But he improved his drop percentage, and we've said it before. There's not a single Giant in the top 15 or top 20 in regards to drops in the entire league last year.
Which is interesting because Theo Johnson had some case of the dropsies last year too.
He had horrid drops, Theo Johnson.
So that's an interesting stat you brought up.
So, I this is why you listen, every team has drop issues.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking right now in the top 25 players with the most drops last year. Top 25. There's not one Giant.
That's crazy.
You had the kid Williams from Detroit lead with 12, Jerry Jeudy 10, St. Brown had 10.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy.
Brian Thomas Jr. had 10. Evan Ingram had 8. Cortland Sutherland 8. CeeDee Lamb had 8, which was tied for 8th in the league. Travis Kelce had 7, which was tied for 11. Zay Flowers was tied for 13th with 7. You have Keenan Allen with 7. Deebo Samuels with 6. I mean, so you don't even have a single Giant in reference to drops in the top 25 in the entire league. But we have to hear about all the problems with the Giants and the drops.
Well, it's the like you said, it's the timing of it. Like wide open down the middle of the field going for it. You could walk in for a touchdown and you drop it. Jackson Dart actually throws you a good deep ball, you drop it. It's just the timing of it, which has been really bad for my boy Slayton.
We're not back to gloom and doom. We're back to talking honest. I could literally say, James, for 2 hours that we are closer to a 9-win team than we are a 4-win team. And then someone's always gonna be, well, you're being negative again.
I don't know when the negative always said was all I asked you was what would you would like to address? You said the running back room, which does need to be addressed. And then I don't see what we said what was negative.
I love this one. Singletary isn't even number 2 on any team. You're right. He's not. He's number 3 on our team right now. But I don't know what was gloomy and doomy about that. You asked me a question, I answered it.
You've been pretty upbeat the whole stream, except with the one guy who kept bringing up the OBJ with the Super Bowl and yada yada yada, and it was like, okay, whatever for that. But you haven't been negative at all.
2021. He wants to bring OBJ back from 2021. That's 5 years ago.
That's half a decade, guys.
I don't have a time machine. And even then, he only had 300 yards and 8 starts for the Rams that year. And he had the one big reception in the Super Bowl, but to people's point, Cooper Kupp was winning the MVP.
Guy only had like the best season ever for a wide receiver.
No, but you know what? But it was OBJ's team. Why does this keep saying password incorrect for Thunder? I don't care if my password's incorrect. Guess it couldn't find the other internet. Oh, I saw Trenton down there. Trenton disappeared for a minute there. Joe Ferry says, I say the same thing about some Giant content creators, Joe Spano. evidently they're having their own conversation in there. I wonder where Theo Johnson is on that list. It felt to me like he has a lot of drops last season. Theo Johnson's not in the top 25.
That's really interesting because I could have sworn Slayton too, but one of them would have been in the top 25.
No. Devontae Adams is 25th with 5 drops. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the list right now.
That's crazy.
The kid from Detroit who still had 1,117 yards, 17 point yards or receptions, 7 touchdowns, led the league with 12 drops. He was targeted 102 times. Jerry Jeudy was next on the list with 106 targets and 10 drops. St. Brown had 172 targets with 10 drops. Brian Thomas Jr. was worst on the list with only 91 targets and 10 drops. I mean, we don't have one giant on this list in the top 20. In the top 25 of drops for the league, we do not have one giant.
All right, well, there you go. That's positive. There you go.
What's the percentage wise for drops for us or for in general? Because I don't have now Theo Johnson. The only thing that I worry about Theo Johnson is, and I've said this before, his catch percentage. For a tight end, you should be in the 60s. And that's the amount of times that you catch the ball when it's referred to as a catchable ball. His rookie season, Theo Johnson's catch percentage was 67.5. Now, last year, where he gains more targets, almost 31 more targets, his catch percentage dropped to 60.8. While he's still in the realm, watch this. I'm being negative and positive. While he's still in the realm of average catch percentage for a starting tight end, he did drop 8% from his from his rookie season to his last season. And I try to explain to people, James, as your snap count rises, as your targets rise, you are normally going to see somewhat of a drop in regards to certain stats in reference to catch percentage and things like that. Hopefully your yard stats, your catches go up and everything else, but you should see a small drop. He shouldn't be a big drop. Theo Johnson went up in targets and everything else went down. So a lot of times they say the more you get involved, the more opportunity you have to not do something correctly.
That guy doesn't know where the ocean is. So I got to be honest. I'm very meat and potatoes. I'm very plain Jane with some things. That big galoot and our star quarterback do not know where the ocean is. So
listen, let's give Theo Johnson the benefit of the doubt.
I'm still
Johnson played in high school in Canada. He's from Winnipeg.
Okay.
So there's not a lot of oceans in Winnipeg.
They don't teach about bodies of water in Canada?
Probably not those in the United States.
Listen, man. You don't know what bodies of water surround you. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Listen, man.
That and on national TV.
I'm trying to get away from that because Jackson Dart didn't fucking help him any.
Oh, I know. Our star quarterback was out there. What do you mean, man? Isn't that a river over there? Isn't that the Hudson? Huh? What?
Trying to help out.
That was embarrassing.
Trying to help out our quarterback, man. Trying to help out the quarterback, man. Come on. Okay. Wait, hold on. I got to get it. Okay. Just got on. Didn't hear the beginning. I am used to hearing the negativity. My bad for assuming. We have been positive about almost everything since the Harbaugh signing.
Oh, yeah. You've been on a nice positive trend for about, I'd say, now it's going on over a month, almost a month.
Since we signed Harbaugh. So back in February.
So you've been on a couple months. Like, I don't think there hasn't been one stream, and you've been working. That new cotton gin they got you working, but I can't recall one stream where you were bashing any move. The only thing you've been bashing is the fact that Joe Schoen is still in the organization. That's it.
And now I keep telling people, Joe Schoen, and we heard the rumors and reported the rumors last week that he's not going anywhere. And now the motherfucker's going to be at the town hall on the 18th. So that really tells me he's not going anywhere.
And just to point out, the very next day after the draft, many giant content creators got on this thing called Tube U and were acting like the world was falling because we didn't get Caleb Downs and the Cowboys got him. And oh my God, what are we gonna do? And oh my, we didn't do this. And, da, 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 da. And it's like, you got two players that were so-called top 10 prospects.
And you also
two.
You also had a head coach that saw the value in Ed Reed, Kyle Hamilton, and played against Troy Polamalu twice a year for 12 years or how longer Troy played. And he did not see the value of Caleb Downs at 10. So are we questioning now John Harbaugh because, like me, he does not see the positional value of a safety at 10, even though he took a safety a couple of years ago? And I think at 8. I think Kyle Hamilton was 8, and he also had Ed Reed, and he played against Troy Polamalu two games a year, sometimes 3 in the playoffs. And he didn't see the positional value of a safety at 10, but he saw the value of the best the best offensive lineman in the draft sitting there at 10, where some Giant fans and content creators, I always go back to Chode Sports, they for months or weeks wanted Big Francis at 5. And then he falls to them at 10 and they bitch and complain that we didn't get Caleb Downs. It's like, motherfuckers, you wanted the guy at 5, but now you're complaining that you took him at 10? Someone needs to explain that stupidity to me.
No, you can't explain. Stupid is as stupid does.
I like Joe Ferry's. There's Joe Ferry's. Dexter and Abdul Carter suck. Jackson Dart tears wide receivers ACLs. Well, actually, we didn't talk about him tearing. We did not talk at all about him tearing an ACL today. Not in one instance did we mention anything about him underthrowing a ball on a clean pocket and putting the ball 5 yards behind the wide receiver instead of 5 yards ahead of wide receiver. Well, he would not have torn the ACL. We never talked about that. Didn't talk about that at all. Dexter does suck. And Abdul Carter, to me, still has potential to be a bust.
Hey, Dexter's not even on this team anymore. So
right. That's why I was like, why do people fucking care?
Dexter's not even here. And Joe, and I love Joe. We'll crack a 6-pack one day. But Abdul Carter, they're watching you this year. Watching you.
I did finally see the thing on it was either on Instagram or TikTok, him congratulating Arvell Reese for getting drafted. I did see that, Abdul Carter. And I did think to myself, and it was funny because everyone's like, he looks like he got fat. I don't think Abdul Carter got fat. I just looked at him next to Reese and I just thought to myself, damn. It's like these are two different fucking players. These are two different body types. And I keep saying it. Reese is the player that we thought, or certain people, not me, thought Abdul Carter was going to be last year. And I keep saying it, but it's you look at the difference of their physicalities and you're just like, in their physical appearance, you're like, one looks like a football player. And one, to me, kind of just sits there and you're looking at him and you're just like, I don't know what to think. I'm just throwing it out there.
If this is not negative, but the one base thing I'll say for the day is, if Joe Shane would have knocked it out the park the last couple of drafts, then our 2 picks that we took probably would have been a little different. We probably would have still taken Reese, or maybe Styles at 5, but you might not have taken Francis at 10. You might have been able to take Downs or somebody else at 10.
If Evan Neal or Joshua Zuda or McKeithen or all the other players that we whiffed on, yes, had become this stalwart, yes, you probably would not have had to have taken, to your point, Big Francis at 10.
Like, seriously, if Abdul Carter came out the gates last year and he did look like a young LT, and Kayvon Thibodeau actually lived up to the hype, would we have drafted Reese at 5?
No.
So then there you go, kids.
There you go. I really like what we did in the draft and free agency, plus Harbaugh hiring with good coaching. Maybe we can get more out of the players we've already have. We can't. Can we please just stay healthy? Listen, the Giants have been one. Nathan. That's all fingers fucking crossed. The Giants have been one of the most injury plagued teams, and I don't blame the turf. I blame the medical staff a little bit. I blame the training staff. I blame the ability to recover from injuries like some teams do. But injuries are always part of the game. That's the issue. I mean, that's just life. Every team has injuries, but the Giants just never have the depth behind the injuries to make. A lot of times our depth pieces are starting. I mean, that's and like I said, I'm hoping this year it says, what if we still suck?
That's what she said.
We're not gonna suck. How about that?
We're not.
We are not gonna suck.
I don't see us sucking. I don't see a playoff team.
No, I was saying, yeah. Go ahead, Tim. Thank you.
But I do agree we're closer to 9 wins than we are 4.
Guys, if you win 7 games, that is an improvement. 7. That's 7 games.
45% improvement over last year.
I don't know what, and it's like, what is your definition of suck? But like, what is your definition of suck? Because again, we're not going to be last year's Patriots. We're not. I doubt it. Which is fine.
We're closer to last year's Panthers, an 8-9 team that made the playoffs. I think that's what we're closer to this year. Then we're not closer. We're not. Besides, I also don't want our head coach cheating on his wife. So I don't want to be closer, to the Patriots.
Think about how many games we lost last year that we should have won. If you even win half of those games next year, we're not going to suck. We're going to be competitive. Okay, we are.
And I agree 100%. And don't hit the fucking like button.
Hit the birthday like button.
Birthday. We're not even at 75 likes. 119.
Come on.
Come on, man. I would just because all these people, some people in the chat today were just like, well, negative this and negative that. I think we need some flowers here on the channel. And I'm going to tell you why briefly. We need some flowers. We need people to actually give us credit for something for a change again. When Mike Vrabel became available, all Giant fans wanted to fire Brian Daboll and hire Mike Vrabel. And I laugh because we had a report out of Memphis that one of the reasons they fired Mike Vrabel, and we actually quoted this, that he was doing some icky things off the field. And that the new owner, who is a woman, who came in immediately and fired Mike Vrabel because of and we even said it. You can go back and watch the tape, because that's what I love about the podcast and stuff like that. Unless you delete it, it's always there. That we said that I even said the Giants should not touch him with a 10-foot pole because people are telling me he's doing icky stuff off the field. And didn't say what it was because we didn't know. But I was like, and I always thought Mike Vrabel was a little bit of a racist because of certain situations. And then we heard that situation as well, but all Giant fans wanted him. How you feeling now? And then to find out that there's photos going back 6 years with him and this other person. So I would like
That's a long time.
That's a long time, guys. And I kept telling people, we kept hearing rumors and speculations that some icky stuff was going on off field.
Oh, hold on. This is for Stone Philosopher, wherever you are. Real quick. TMZ fun fact.
Oh, TMZ fun fact.
Diana Rossini named her son Michael. That's all I'm going to say.
So we're not going to say anything else. We're not going to say anything else.
Her husband's name is not Michael.
14th pick for Kyle Hamilton. Thank you. I couldn't remember where Kyle Hamilton was selected. But still, to my point, you have a guy that valued the safety position with Ed Reed, Kyle Hamilton, and played against Troy for years and decided, you know what? I think an offensive lineman is best for this team. Just
You know what that's like? That's like the Green Bay Packers passing on a quarterback and people going, well, they don't know what they're talking about. It's like, gee, I don't know. Packers seem to have hit on quarterbacks three straight times. They might know a little bit about quarterbacks. Harbaugh might know a little bit about safeties.
I love this with Joe Spano. One look in reference to Abdul Carter and Reese. One looks like a football player. One looks like a content creator. In regards to when they met Abdul Carter and Reese. Let's see here. Harbaugh has done a great job this offseason. I'm excited for the direction the team is headed. It's been too long in the dump for me. I agree.
It's been so long in the dumps. Like, I get people in an abusive relationship. You don't know how to be happy. I feel bad for some of you. You don't know, not people here in our cult, but just in the Giants fandom. You suckers don't know how to be happy. Are you out of your mind? I am more excited right now than I've been in 5 years. 5 years. Like, actually feeling like, oh, we have good leadership in the building. We brought some players in who don't do the chain and the sunglasses inside, saying, I want to wear number 56. We can bring players in who are saying, I want to die for this. I'm ready to die for this.
I'm ready.
Like, we're bringing in football players.
I love that. I'm ready to die for Jackson Dart. Well, you know what, Francis? I don't think we have to go that big.
What? Like, even people, who was my man, Dominic Foxworth? He was like, whoa, brother. We love that, but bro, we don't need nobody dying on the field.
You don't need no one dying for Jackson. I love OKC. Donald says Abdul Carter will have 10 plus sacks this season, book in and play strong against the run. I'll give you the 10 sacks because I've said this before. I think his snap count is going to go down, Abdul Carter. I think we saw that as his snap count went up outside of the Raider game, but it was the Raiders, his production went down. And I was kind of getting tired at times watching him get shot putted by left tackles. So it kind of got tired, especially against like Dallas and Philadelphia, and But I can give you the 10. I can give you the 10 sacks because I think that, and I've said this before, if you use him like the Jets used Bryce Huff years ago, and put him in situations where you're creating mismatches for him, yes, I said that he could have 10 sacks during his rookie season if you only played him like 38, 40% of the snap count and used him as a situational pass rusher. I agree. But strong against the run?
Gentlemen, what brings me to my next point. Don't smoke crack.
I watched this man get shot putted by the Jets' third string tight end in preseason. You were there, James. And I was like, and I remember sitting there like, that's not good. You got shot putted by a guy that's going to be selling insurance in October. And then I watched him a couple games where literally it was in Philadelphia. And I remember the play. He was blitzing from the outside. He got a running start. I don't remember. It's not Lane Johnson. I don't remember who it was. But I just remember watching it and going like this. I'm like, down. Where'd Abdul go? He's on the floor. For all your speed and quickness, if you don't have strength to back it up, I watched Reese at Ohio State chuck 300-pound linemen like they were nothing. And a 300-pound lineman in college still equals a 300-pound lineman in the pros. But I watched him push back guys like they weren't even there. I watched Abdul Carter run into brick walls like in a Roadrunner cartoon and literally have to get peeled off the brick wall. So against the run being strength, no. But I'll give you the 10 sacks.
Hey, OKC Donnell, I challenge you this. I challenge you to come back on here, support our brother, of course. But by Halloween, we'll know if Carter is going to be Micah Parsons or Kayvon Thibodeau. We'll know by Halloween. It's not going to take long.
It's not going to take
long. This guy, he's a defensive player. He's been here for a year already. He got a new system, new coaches, new energy. We will know by Halloween what this kid is going to be or what his trajectory is trending towards, I'll say. We will know. It won't take long.
No, I think you're gonna know right away. If we suck, we get a new quarterback. Yeah, if we suck next year, we get a new quarterback.
And don't cry about that either, guys. If Harbaugh decides to move on from the golden child.
Yeah. Yeah. Got a parking quarterback who was what? Jackson backup quarterback. Old quarterback did not do good. I hope your quarterback is a mobile quarterback. Our quarterback is mobile. I don't know.
Jackson backup Cowboys old what?
I don't know. I don't know, but that's all right. How old is your son, James? Diana Rossini's.
Oh snap! He's within the 6 year. Oh yeah, thank you. He's in that 5-6 year. You know, just saying. Takes 9-10 months to incubate a baby, but you know, just I
don't know what's going on, but you're very welcome, Mr. Young, as always. We haven't had leadership like this since Tom Coughlin, so I'm happy. I agree.
Yeah, be happy, man. It's crazy.
And I want DJ Reader too. I still want DJ.
It's like, be happy.
He's coming and focused and stronger. Did you see what he looks like now, Abdul Carter?
How do we know he's coming in stronger, though?
He does not look. Abdul Carter does not look like he has been hitting the gym. I'm just saying, for a guy that came into the league looking like this, he is not. He does not look like this. He does not look like this.
Come on, guys.
He looks like this. Stop it. I'm going to give you such a slap. And I saw the pictures of Abdul Carter. He is not getting, you don't see any more muscle tone. You don't see any more definition. Listen, Abdul Carter's strength is not strength. His strength is speed.
Oh my God. He said his strength is not strength.
It's not. We don't have to worry about him in a moment where you're cutting his hair.
Your weakness is your strength, son.
Your weakness is your strength. Literally. Literally, yes.
That's funny.
It's his speed that makes him
speed.
But the problem is with speed is easily neutralized. You don't need an additional person to block you if you're a speed rusher. You can just take him wide. And we've talked about this before. And if he doesn't cut it in soon enough, all you're doing is pushing him out of the play. Speed also allows you to over pursue, which we saw Abdul Carter do. He runs past the play. If you have a player who has brute force and strength, you sometimes need more than one guy to block that person because of the fact that his strength is his strength. But the thing with Reese is he is strong and he's fast. And he's got, I think, the same explosive first step that Abdul Carter has, if not better. So now you got a guy that's strong and fast. That's a deadly combination.
That's what she said.
That's what she said.
Looks like the DJ Reader deal is dead. Why did he sign some of this? What does this say? You see, guys, my numbers aren't good. I got to leave now. The Online Big Blue says this. She goes, if the likes don't improve, it's time to wrap up.
Uh-oh.
Because she said
she's shutting down.
Shutting down. And I agree. I think I am shutting down. Because we'll be
What's your birthday, man?
We'll be back tomorrow.
I'll be back in the field tomorrow.
I'll be back tomorrow. His strength is not his strength. Yes.
Strength is not his strength. That's the quote of the day.
Tim, the show that you need to add power in your game, the whole speed things means nothing. It does. I mean, is Carter or Cordell flop?
Real quick, what was the game when it was, I think it was like a third or fourth down, and Carter had the quarterback on like the sideline, and all he had to do was like push him out of bounds, and he couldn't get the quarterback. The quarterback was like, get off me. Was it the Chiefs? It wasn't the Chiefs.
I want to say
was it the Chiefs?
I remember when Justin Herbert outran Abdul Carter to the sideline.
Oh yeah, that too. Like, there's been a couple play. He's had a couple Kayvon Thibodeau, the Denver game.
I do think it was the Denver game.
Oh yeah,
You think it was
my man? He beat Josh Allen, the quarterback, but he had him on the sideline, Carter, and all he had to do was just push him out of bounds, and he couldn't push him out of bounds. And then, like, he was like, Carter, get off me! And I think he ran for the first down after that. And it's like, that was the Kayvon Thibodeau, Jalen Hurts stiff arm moment. It's not good.
I remember I remember the duck game. And I remember him running after the duck.
That is not good.
That is not good. I remember him running after the duck, and the duck was running to the sideline. And I remember the duck did one of these. Now, he's called the duck for a reason. He's not called because he went to Oregon and because, he's the duck. And I call him for duck for multiple reasons now. So he did one of these. He was going to the sideline, and Abdul Carter was coming in. The next thing you know, he went like this up the sideline. And Abdul Carter is like, we did where, it's where'd who go? You know what I mean? It's just, listen, I still think Abdul Carter can be an effective pass rusher if you use him situationally. And it's not a slight, and I've been saying that for the draft, since the draft. Abdul Carter is going to prove y'all wrong. Book it with, okay. But OKC Donnelly, I don't know how familiar you are with the show.
You keep saying book it, OKC. That makes me think that you don't really believe that. Book it.
Telling me to book it, and I'm going to speak to this truthfully to you. You can even ask Joe Ferries, who lived up to his obligations. When someone usually makes a bet against me and tells me to book it, James, what percentage of the time are we right? Because
I would say maybe a one followed by 00.
Someone still owes you $1,000, James.
I'll get at it. That guy hasn't even popped back in your show.
No.
As he should not.
Joe Ferry,
As he should not.
Joe Ferries and I made a bet. Joe Ferry stepped up like a man should, but everyone tells me to book it, and I would probably say 98% of the time we're right. So I will book it. What would you like to bet? We can go to the mightyfanduel.com, fanduel.com, number one sports book in America. Mr. Young says, if these practices are brutal, people say, I think Abdul Carter will benefit for this. I agree. And get better. That's when you separate the men from the boys. Oh, I agree. Even Joe says, go to the Mighty FanDuel. I just believe that makes a difference as well as self-motivation. I agree. I agree, OKC. I get it. I agree. But the problem is, if you are a type of player that you are, that's what you are. If you are a speed rush guy, adding muscle and weight is probably not going to be beneficial to your speed, which is what you use. You are never going to be as strong as Arvell Reese. You're never going to be as strong as Brian Burns. You can be in the gym as much as you want, but if you don't have that core muscle, that you are just not going to, you're just never going to gain that strength. And if anything, it's going to detract from your speed. So I will take any bet you want. I'll bet $1,000.
And listen, we could talk about self-motivation all we want, but none of us are in these players' heads, so we don't know how really motivated they are. And facts over feelings, I've never seen Michael Strahan, JPP, a.k.a. Eight Fingers, OCU Manura, one of my favorite players of all time, Matthias Kiwanuka, get pushed around like Jalen Hurts was doing to Kayvon, or get pushed around the way Carter did last year. Never saw it.
Nope.
Rookie or not. So we can.
Here I come.
Just saying.
Find you. Sorry.
We can book it all we want, but that guy who wanted to be Lawrence Taylor, he's got a lot to prove.
You come.
Sorry.
Here's the problem with the last two pass rushers and I got to go. But here's the problem with the last two pass rushers we drafted. Kayvon Thibodeau. I'm going to come in this league and I'm going to get a sack a game. I'm getting 17 sacks my rookie season. What did he have? 4.5, 5? Abdul, I want to wear either 56 or 11. You had 4.5 sacks. You had 1 sack more than Darius Alexander. and you played more.
It's not that hard on defensive players. It's not that hard to see at certain positions who's going to have an impact pretty fast. It's not. You don't got to wait 3 years. You don't got to wait 3 years. We'll know real fast.
I believe Hutchinson was gone before we took Kayvon, if I'm not mistaken.
No, we should have drafted Karlaftis, the dude who's in Kansas City.
Yeah. Yes. Agree. All right, guys, listen, I got to wrap this up because it's the birthday. It's my birthday, and I'm rhyming if I want to. I'm going to go
It's your birthday.
hang out with the family because I want to talk to James a minute. We'll be back on Monday at... You need to shift. You need to shift. Don't rev up that high. If you're going to do it right, you got to throw that shift before the RPMs gets up too. I'm just saying. Sorry.
Master said, we'll give you the rest of the day off, but you back out there tomorrow, boy.
You got to go work tomorrow.
You go back to work.
We'll be back tomorrow at 11. We have booked Wednesday of this week another top 100 Giant. We are doing a pre-record on Wednesday. Once the pre-record is done, because I always do this, because I always love people, because, people do change their mind about things and change dates. So they're like, well, you said this was going to happen. You didn't do it. Well, I can't control the people. But this one is booked, has been confirmed as of Friday. Once the pre-record is done, I will announce on X on Wednesday afternoon whom this top 100 Giant is, and then we will then put the pre-recorded podcast up on Thursday. So stay tuned for that news, folks. Stay tuned for that news.
Holy surprise, Batman. I can't wait.
Oh, RF team, brother. I'm sorry you missed it. We'll be back. Maybe Carter should have had the number of sacks he actually had on his uniform. That's true. Well, I'm going to have a sack a season. Thanks, James. See you Monday, brother. Thank you, James. You have yourself a James. You have yourself a good day. For Tim, for the Mighty FanDuel and the Mighty Believe. This is Tim. This is James, and we're out of here. We'll see you tomorrow at 11.
That motherfucker must have lost his goddamn mind.